Fine. So just let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So this is it. We will be dealing with the essay, or we will try to make sure that after this session, whoever is attending the session or is going to watch this recording, you won't be fearing of the essays, or at least you will be able to understand about the essays. Fine. Considering the same, let's move in the forward direction without wasting iota of second. See, we just have 3 or 4 interactions, but whatever the points that were mentioned is actually a issue as well as requirement for the essay. Because if you are not meeting the requirement, you are going to have an issue. In the same line, let's move forward. The very first thing is that no one told me that how to understand the essay. And when they get philosophical essay at their examinations or in their examinations, they end up having some different meaning or end up having only a single meaning. A different meaning ensures that you won't be penalized. A topic, a line, a statement can have more than one meanings. But at the same time, only single perspective or single meaning, if you are deciphering from the statement or the given topic, this can be an issue for you while writing an essay. Okay, so first thing there that we will be working upon is understanding the topic, understanding the essay. What does it want to say? Essay will have 2 meanings. One, the meaning that is quite obvious, which is quite visible to you. Other one, hidden meaning. There you have to think about. Okay, in upcoming sessions, we will be putting more focus how to understand hidden meaning, how to decipher hidden meaning. Fine. Next, the challenge that was mentioned by one of you, coherency and flow. Second, dimensions, how to bring about different dimensions. Third, chronological. Okay, the meme culture chronology समझिए आप. So basically, when we talk about coherency, what is actually coherency? Coherency is nothing but relation between the last line of your essay and the next line of your essay. This ensures that they are interlinked. And if they are interlinked, that your last thought is connected to your next thought. You are actually having a coherent essay. Now, flow. Your coherency ensures that you do not have a disturbed flow. When you try to link your last para to next para, you ensure coherency. You ensure that flow is there. But an average flow can be made better. How it can be done? There we have talked about 2 things. Okay. First, UPSC approach, then PESL approach. Most of you know that PESEL approach is nothing but political, economical, social, technological, legislative, environmental, or say ethical. You have to bring dimensions in these formats. And you have to ensure flow within the dimensions. Now, again, I'm opening this session for little bit discussion, little bit deliberation between us. Because this is one of the most important part where you have to work upon. How you guys open dimensions, whether it is PESEL approach or some other approach. UPSC approach is something that SOMP team has discovered that we will talk about. Fine. I just want to know, what do you understand or what do you do when you write essay? How you open your dimensions? Anyone volunteering? Please don't type this time because the screen is quite occupied. I won't be able to see chat box. If one of you can unmute and speak, then it is quite fine. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I generally go with the historical dimension first, like find in temporal dimensions like ancient India or the ancient world history, then medieval, then come to modern, and from there on I slip into the political part, the constitutional part, and the post-independent India, and then the political aspect of this and the societal aspect of that, of the topic. If I find some example, then we can relate it to build a story. And after that I delve into the contemporary topics, like if there is an environmental dimension or there is a technological advancement in that, and economical aspect of that. This way I go about opening the dimensions. And if there is a debatable topic, then I try to find, after opening the dimensions, I try to find the opposite arguments to the statement, and then I go on to the conclusion.
Okay, fine. So, fine. Anyone else?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sakshi.
So for me, I always try to mix two of the dimensions. For example, I also use temporal dimension in very first half of my essay. Then if the essay topic is more on conventional line, then I also use pestle dimension to further explore it. And if it's on philosophical side, then I first go for thesis and then do for antithesis. So this way I approach the essay.
Okay, fine, fair enough. One more thought, if anyone would like to share, else I will move to the session part. Anyone else? Just one more thought, please. Seems no one, then no worries. I shall be moving ahead without wasting a iota of time. Okay, so okay, so here in dimensions, you can go with any approach. But when people ask me, sir, I'm struggling with the flow, I'm struggling with the structure, I make their life simple. Because mains examination is more about management of your mind, management of peace of your mind, management of your emotions and time. So how to move ahead? They say, sir, sometimes I'm getting thought from the economical side, sometimes I'm getting thoughts from the political side, sometimes from international relations, sometimes ethical. How to put forward? If I write down these things, even in rough page or the last page of my copy, even then I end up having certain kind of doubts that which point to put first, which point to put later on. What kind of flow should I maintain, sir? Then what we deciphered, the safest approach you can trust is the UPSC approach. If I ask you guys that why UPSC conducts GS paper 1 as the very first paper and GS paper 4 as the very last paper, why we cannot say polity governance 1 as a GS paper 1 and then economy as GS paper 2, then history and all as GS paper 3, keep ethics at GS paper 4, or why not ethics let's make us the ethics as a GS paper 1? Can anyone answer it? Anyone? I guess
So it
no.
may be, so it may
Yeah.
be like, hello, sir. Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes,
it may
yes.
be like UPSC wants that firstly we should learn various like dimensions, the things like history, polity, geography, economics. Then all these three papers, what we have learned, we try to apply it in an ethical dimension in the GS paper 4. Might be, it might be the reason.
It can be. I'm not going to question. Just asking this question was to invigorate your mind to think upon it. Okay, just to inculcate some thought process in your mind. So what I wanted to say that yes, UPSC has done something. UPSC must have had some experts at their disposal. Why to put this at GS paper 1 and why to conduct at that particular time only? Okay, so they have more resources than us, more experts than us. So let's trust on UPSC itself. While opening any essay, first the people who told me that temporal format, yes, you can go for it. My GS paper 1 allows it. First, ancient, medieval, modern, society, geography. These are the dimensions from my GS paper 1. I will use any 2 or 3. Then let's move to GS paper 2. Polity, IR, governance. That's it. Most of the things are covered. This will be my thought process for the next part of my essay. So I will get 2-3 dimensions from here itself. Similarly, paper 3, environment is there, economy is there, disaster management is there, security is there. I will get 2 or 3 points. Okay. Last is the GS paper 4. I will give all the gyan, all the ethical dimensions in the last. Then I will conclude. This way, we can follow the flow without even questioning ki, what is going to happen, why my thoughts are not in line. When you're thinking in this way only, that I'm going to think process or I'm going to follow the process of UPSC itself, your flow in the right direction. Now, you don't have to prioritize your thought process. It is already prioritized. You have to work upon this part. That is coherency. You have already paragraphs ready at your disposal just because you have thought it. Now, what is coherency again? Linking your last line to the next line or last paragraph to the next paragraph. We will talk more about it, how we will do it in upcoming sessions as well as in the later half of this session. Fine. Next is optimum content. As people say that, sir, I end up writing only 4 dimensions, 5 dimensions. How much I should write? How long I should write? So in UPSC examination, your answer sheets must not have more than 3 paragraphs or less than 2.5 paragraph. Means at least third paragraph should have been started in the single page. At most 3 paragraphs should be there. This is the optimum length of your paragraphs. Now, how to bring optimum content in the same? That requires practice. That's why you will be writing essay as well as synopsis. What is synopsis? I will talk about it. Moving ahead, optimum content. How to generate content? You have read so much. You are well-read people. You know that. I always tell my mentees that the way you guys study during mains, you may outclass me in terms of content. I may not have that much content at my disposal because I'm not into the mains mode right now. I might be having the content for the single subject or 2 subjects that I am teaching right now. Else I am not. So content won't be an issue. Optimization of content will be an issue. Now, what people do, they start studying more. It is more about the application. That again, I will talk while discussing synopsis approach. Fine. Now, the third issue, the most relevant, most struggling issue that I have found in your copies in last my 4 or 5 years of journey as a mentor. What I discovered, your essays look like GS paper answers or GS paper long answers. So it makes it mechanical. What is the difference between mechanical and organic essay? If any one of you would like to comment upon.
Sir, organic is more lively approach.
Okay, fine. Anyone else?
Which does not look like collection of data and facts, which flows in a organic manner. Like there is a distinct connection between the dimensions or between the paras, maybe.
Okay, fine. Anyone else?
Sir, it has to be living, means it should have emotions.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for bringing the right term, emotions. So yeah, emotions should be there. Emotions make essay lively. Emotions make essay organic. Emotions makes human different from machine. When we question artificial intelligence, it is more about emotions. Fine. Emotional intelligence. Your emotional intelligence must be there the way you write. Essay should be little bit artistic as well. So those who are good with poetry or शेर व शायरी वाले जो लोग होते हैं, they generally find themselves comfortable with the essay. Okay, once they start writing, obviously it's not like that if you're writing शेर व शायरी that you will be very good in essay itself. But yeah, you will be very good in putting your emotions on the paper, which is the very hard thing to do. Okay, so this is it from my side on the organic. I will give just one single example, just a single example that how you can bring emotions. So you must have read a news that I guess one of you or 2 of you must have heard this example from my mouth in ethics or somewhere else, because I generally give old examples. So you must have read that stone pelters in Kashmir were being paid rupees 500 per day for the stone pelting. So stone pelting was a kind of employment for them. Now this was quite mechanical statement. If you put essay, in essay that these stone pelters are getting 500 rupees per day for stone pelting. I don't think so. No one, anyone will be impressed. But similarly, how to bring emotions. Had the youth of Valley been given right counseling and employment opportunities, instead of paying or getting rupees 500 to harm our nation and standing against the army personnel, the same youth would have been paying taxes through which they would have strengthened Indian army. Did you guys get any kind of emotional feel in my this statement, or it sound mechanistic? At least say yes, no, kuch to pata lage.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sounds better.
Yeah, thank you. So this is how you have to bring your emotions. I can say, now see, you have written a very bad essay. You have written a very bad essay. This was my statement. Without emotions, I went mechanistic. I had certain standards, okay, and on those standards you were not right, so I ended up, okay, saying it was a bad. Similarly, how to put emotions. You know, this part of your essay was good. It could have been better had you mentioned this, unlike this. Now I'm bringing kind of emotions. It could have been better. And imagination. So when you are going to talk about imagination in your essay, it's something that you are putting a emotion in it. Fine. Moving ahead. Essay is not long GS answer, but a connection of thoughts and ideas which starts at an introduction and ends at a conclusion. Complete the circle. Now, when I talk about the completing the circle, I mean it. Your conclusion should hit backwards towards your introduction itself. Suppose if you talk about any poem in introduction, if you talk about any story in introduction or quotation or some great legend like Mahatma Gandhi, Vivekanand ji, APJ Abdul Kalam ji, you can again bring the same in your conclusion itself. It's like jahan se shuru kiya wahi khatam kiya. That's how you complete your circle. These were the general guidelines how to move forward with essay topics. Fine. Let's move to the next slide. Parts of essay. Okay. So as any GS answer, essay 2 have only 2 or 3 parts, basically. Introduction, body, conclusion. Okay. In earlier slides, I gave you overview. I will go deeper in the parts right now. So these days, people are going for 2 or 3 kinds of introduction. First, anecdote or story. So either they have read any story, they write the same, or they create the story, or they create the conversation between 2 individuals. It can also be an introduction. Next, quotation. Suppose there is something in essay and you find the similar relevant quotation. People start the quotation, then they explain the understanding of quotation. It can, or something else. It can be poem. It can be couplet. Fine. Let's move forward. So introduction is something that I will discuss more when I will tell you about the synopsis. Okay. I will put here focus on the body part. Flow of thought or how to think, both I have dealt. Like we will be following UPSC approach. If you are uncomfortable with any of your approach, or you feel that you are struggling, and if you think no, you are not struggling, you are done, you are good, then no need to change. If you are struggling, then UPSC approach, and UPSC approach is nothing but the trust that we put forward on the UPSC. That is GS paper 1, GS paper 2 topics, then GS paper 3 topics, GS paper 4 topics. Every topic means every paper have at least 2 or 3 subtopics, major 2 or 3 subtopics. So at least 9 to 12 paragraphs you can have from your GS papers. Introduction around 1 page. Okay. The flow is that introduction and the next paragraph to your introduction is the most important thing. If you are able to touch the emotions of your examiner, of your checker, in the very first paragraph and your introduction, believe me, half of the battle is won. So whatever you have given in introduction, your first paragraph will ensure that that has been linked to the first topic that you have thought from the UPSC mindset, that belonging from GS paper 1. This way, you will be touching both the aspects. That is first paper, introduction and the first paragraph. So the next paragraph after introduction is the most important that you will be linking. Then the similar process of linking will go for the next 9 or 10 paragraphs that you will be writing. That is how you will be able to maintain flow of thought and coherency. How to bring emotions. One example I have given you. Okay. So it is more about how you present your imagination, your idea. In upcoming sessions, we will talk more about it only, that how to bring emotions. For example, one more example, let me tell you a very straightforward question. Statement. Suppose India is 3.1 trillion economy presently. Okay, we are 3.1 trillion economy. A very straightforward statement, how to bring emotions in this. Can and would anyone like to try that, how from this statement you can bring some emotions or imagination? At least you guys can try, I guess. Anyone?
Sir, we can relate the economic growth with poverty, how it will uplift and
Tell me now how. I'm telling give me the statement. Don't limit it. कि ये कर सकते हैं. Tell me how. Related with poverty. How to bring your thoughts in the paper. That is the challenge ना. Relate तो कुछ ना कुछ कर ही देंगे emotions लाने के लिए.
Sir, can we write like this, that with $3.1 trillion economy and inching towards the top 5 economy in the world, can we say that we are really developed? Question mark. Is the size of the economy? Okay, I'm lost here. Sorry.
You were going to talk about equity and all, I guess.
Yeah. So I just lost the flow.
I got your point. I have enough experience ना, so मन की बात जान लेते हैं. Apart from PM's मन की बात. Fine.
Sir, can I give it a try?
Sure.
Sir, can I say like by bringing creative ideas on the policies label and
No. You're deviating. You're going somewhere else. Okay, fine. Let me put it out. Now, how to move forward? First thing, it was a 3.1 trillion economy that you had disposal, and Abhigyan was quite right when he brought out poverty and all. Okay, but one thing that Abhigyan, that I would like to request you to avoid, don't go into negative connotations. Like, for example, you were going to question that are we really developed? Okay, so in that scenario, I'll suggest that be positive, okay, because the way you will be writing your essay, the similar way you will be putting your personality in front of examiner. So instead of questioning India, say we can do better. Don't criticize, but say we can do better. Try to understand the difference between the both. Okay, so
Okay,
it will give positive dimension of your personality to the examiner, and it will help you in your interviews as well. Once you develop the mindset from not from the critical point of view, but from the point of view where you can see there is betterment, scope of betterment in every area, it will help. Okay.
Hello.
So,
Sir, can I
yeah.
try?
Okay, yes, Sakshi. Yeah.
So we can start in this way that as Mark Twain once said that India being the cradle of civilization, in the very similar way, India is set to become cradle of economic world order with its 5 trillion goal as an economy.
Okay.
Is this right?
Yeah, but you did not use my statement. Nah, I was specific about 3.1 trillion.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, emotions were there in your statement.
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
saying that not there. Okay, so like I was going with the Abhigyan's point of view. So what happened? Let's talk about 3.1 trillion. Okay, so 3.1 trillion economy of India has ensured that with growth also comes the development. Recent UN report where we brought out, I forgot the number, so I'm saying X number of people out of poverty, shows trickle down theory do exist. Was I able to relate with your point of view of Bigyan?
yes, sir, definitely in a positive way.
Okay, so this is what I say, how to bring emotions. So you mentioned a UN report, again a fact, but again you're saying bringing 2 point. So now continuing how to bring more emotions. For people, for word, it might be a number of people, but for Indians, it is addition of X number of smiles in prosperous society. Certainly, जो poor है वो थोड़ा smile कम करेगा. But if you are out of poverty, you will smile. But everyone will remain poor somehow or not. Okay, you have added more smiles. Or when you talk about these things, Ayushman Bharat and all, why you talk about just numbers? The scheme has ensured, suppose 50 lakh is the beneficiaries. Okay, I'm very bad with the numbers that you will be doing even by yourself only. Okay, so don't question me over there. I'm quite serious about it. Huh? So suppose 50 lakh was the target. Okay, so 50 lakh people through Ayushman Bharat has been ensured a good health. And Ayushman Bharat card is not limited to provided infrastructure related to medical health. But since they have also accepted that they are government beneficiaries, their mental health have improved, that they do not have to think about out of pocket expenditure. You brought another emotion. Mental health सही हो रहा है यार, उनको नहीं सोचना कि हमारे आउट ऑफ पॉकेट एक्सपेंडिचर हो सकता है हमसे. Fine. This way you can bring more and more emotions. Fine. Let's move ahead. When we talk about the body coherency, that you have to link one thing to another. So here the role of thinker, linker, and quotations, etc. becomes important. When I say role of thinkers, as Sakshi used beautifully, Mark Twain, Cradle of Civilization. Maybe some other thinker would have said something about economy and science. So people ask me, sir, what to do for the better essay? I say you have to give 4 or 5 hours. What to do in those 4 or 5 hours? I'll say just search on internet two quotation relating your 2 subjects. For example, any quotation relating with environment and economy. Just type environment and economy relate. Or quotation, yeah, or quote. QUOTE. Note down that quotation. And in SMP material, I will provide enough support. Okay. Even more bhi nahi karna padega, but this general thing is that I'm telling to everyone. Fine. So I will give a brief look how our material looks like in the end of session. Obviously, I won't disturb my flow right now. Okay. You can use linkers. When I say linkers, these are the statements. For example, I created myself one linker. Environment belongs to all, including you. This was my statement I have written in one of my mails. Obviously, that I keep creating such. So if you think you are the person who can create linkers, you can use it. So, okay, fine. Okay, one more exercise before I move to the flip side. There is a word called democracy. You will find a very, very, very straightforward essay on democracy. Suppose I will say how you can put how a demo. Okay, how Earth shows democracy. Anyone?
Sir, could you please repeat?
How Mother Earth shows democracy.
For equal opportunities for all, whether poor or equal opportunity, equal facilities.
Nice, Mansi. Earth do not discriminate. Correct.
Sir, Earth is one, world is not. Apart from having democracy in world, not in Earth, in philosophical ways. Am I getting right?
I'm not getting you actually, so I was going to ask you, please repeat.
Sir, democracy is relatable to, मतलब डेमोक्रेसी को हम ज्यादा वर्ल्ड के सेंस में समझते हैं, बट एक्चुअली में डेमोक्रेसी जो रोल प्ले कर रही है वो अर्थ में कर रही है, रियल सेंस में, जहाँ पर
Yes, sir.
इक्विटी भी है, इक्वालिटी भी है, जैसे कि निक फॉर्मेशन हो गया, और पर डेमोक्रेसी होने के बावजूद भी वर्ल्ड में वो डेमोक्रेसी नहीं है, क्योंकि
You are being negative again. I have asked that don't be negative. Word में नहीं and all. I have just asked you don't have to do this. Fine. Though I got your point. Okay, but don't be negative. Yeah. Anyone else?
Sir, we can give the example of the the system of rain system that works on the earth, that it takes up water from the ocean where there is abundant water, and then it brings rain to the places where it is required. So basically it is an equitable approach of
Good.
distributing the resources.
This is good. Accept it. Accept it. No need to worry more. Okay. I just wanted to have a thought process only. Yeah, perfect. Anyone else? Sakshi?
So we can give the example of flora and fauna, that how Earth provide opportunity to each and every flora and fauna to grow in their own way without restricting their potential.
Fine. Good.
Sir, can we bring out the dimensions of this metropolitan city where the air is polluted and while in the other parts of the area where there's areas,
Don't be
most of the
negative.
areas
I
are
will
not
again
polluted.
say don't be negative.
Located
Don't
in a-
criticize. Don't criticize anything. Don't be negative. Avoid it. We have so much to write. We don't have to be negative in our essays at least. आ जाएगा question in the GS paper means critically examine or something like this. वहाँ negative हो जाना यार. Even if essay has having negative tone, try to be positive. Don't show your negative personality. इतना critical होके क्या दिखाना है आपको वहाँ पे. Fine, fine. So some dimensions from my side, then I will move to the flip side. Okay. So सब अपने आप दिखाने लगा. No one thought in the this way, I guess. First of all, democracy के feature क्या हैं? Tell me feature.
Equal voice to all the people that are
Agreed.
living in that.
Agreed.
Human rights, basic human rights,
Agreed.
not the rule of only majority but minority also.
यार ये सब तो आपने बता दिया ना. एक ऐसा फीचर है डेमोक्रेसी का which is the most.
Liberty,
Sorry.
liberty,
universal-
equality,
People's participation.
fraternity.
Sir, universal adult franchise.
People's
Sir-
participation.
अभी you guys don't speak at all. I have curtailed your democracy.
सर स्पीच बोलने का हक.
Suppose बोलने का हक तो है यार, ये भी पहुंच जाओगे तो. The most important क्या है? Right to dissent. डेमोक्रेसी में डिसेंट तो हो कर सकते हैं ना. राइट टू डिसएग्री. डिसेंट है, प्रोटेस्ट कर सकते हैं ना.
यस सर.
तो उस पार्ट में भी तो सोचिए अर्थ कैसे अपना प्रोटेस्ट शो करती है. ओके, सो अब अर्थ कैसे प्रोटेस्ट शो करेगी? साक्षी ने पेड़ काटे अपनी हवेली बना ली. ओके, साक्षी जस्ट फेल डाउन 1,000-acre trees and she made a quite big palace for herself. Okay, so Earth will say, okay, let me have some disaster. Earth is showing descent through the
Descent.
disasters. Flood आया. Again, Earth is showing something. Okay, spring season. Earth is showing happiness. Okay, as Earth has taken a lot from society, Earth is giving back to society. Again, a feature of democracy itself. Na? Don't limit something. You said that universal adult franchise. Okay, so no one has voted for the Earth. Okay, but still Earth allows everyone to have something from the Earth. Earth is not discriminating in the sense of air, water, and all. Okay, so
For example, pandemic.
yeah, when you when you talk about these things, क्या कहते हैं, pollution and all, Earth is showing descent as well, na? Global warming. When you talk about the consumerism, Earth is again showing descent through extinction of animals and species, plant, flora, fauna. When you are using bombs, Earth is making that land barren. Don't do it. Earth is telling you now. So every democratic feature you will find. So I have given you just one example. Democracy. Fraternity. How Earth shows fraternity. Two climbers are just hugging each other. Climbers mean the plants, okay? Hugging each other. Fraternity. In the shade of a big plant, a small plant is also there. Fraternity. So don't limit your thinking process. That's what we have to do in philosophical essays that we will talk more about in next 2 sessions. That is tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Then we will be having a 3 days week. Okay, week means 3 days gap. Then we will be meet next week. Okay, fine. So what is the flip side? What is the flip side? Okay, suppose whatever essay statement is there and you write opposite to the same, that is your flip side. Fine, we will more talk about in the later of the session, so I will stop here only because we will talk. Conclusion is just after flip side. Flip side, either you can take before your ethical dimensions or after ethical dimensions. It doesn't matter. Okay, but if you take before ethical dimension or after, both are fine, because conclusion you have to do all the gyanbazi only. In conclusion, you have to ensure a futuristic conclusion, application of your thoughts. Okay, that I will be able to tell better when we will discuss different topics of essays. Okay, how to ensure circle? I have already talked that you have to go back to your introduction. You have to bring elements from your introduction. Fine. Till now, any questions, any queries? Else I will be moving to the next part of session. Okay, fine. No questions, no queries.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
Gurpreet.
regarding, sir, you mentioned about the India's 3.1 trillion population and the poverty, right? Sir, can we bring the dimension of this world inequality report of 2002 by the Paris School Research, where the inequality, inequality within the countries are increasing, but inequality between countries are narrowing. So can we bring all those dimensions regarding inequality of
Yes.
poverty?
Yes, that you can. No worries. Fine. So I shall be moving to the next part of the session then. Okay, great. Okay, before we start, so yeah, revamping education is setting agenda of next generation. Let me stop the recording first. You guys just note down this statement first. Revamping education is setting agenda of next generation. Or I'm putting that in chat box as well.
Sorry, sir, I wanted to ask a question.
So I just want you to give me idea that you started with the education itself. Okay. So we are in the end lab of this session. So just idea, any one of you?
I begin by quoting the line that change is the only constant that keep the species of any organism to stay alive and upfront. So how it might be physical for the other organism to change, but we work both at physical and mental level. So here education plays a crucial role for the adoption that made us sustainable, adaptable, and livable for the changing circumstances. But इस constant change के लिए need
Demand meet नहीं हो रहा.
So may I give it a try?
Sure.
So I started with 1946 Europe, where despite having great technical education, the war broke out and the civilization was on the brink of destruction. And today, despite having the same technical background,
Fine.
Yeah.
Siddharth.
Yes,
Good.
So can I read?
Yes.
So I started with a quotation that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today, by Malcolm X. Then I further wrote that, truly said by Malcolm X, education is indeed the canvas upon which the picture of a bright future is drawn upon. India, being a potential 5 trillion economy by 2025, has education as the ultimate tool to realize this potential to its zenith. India
फाइन
being the
फाइन
most.
साक्षी फाइन आई गॉट योर आइडिया मतलब पूरा इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं सुनना बेसिकली मेरे को आइडिया चाहिए
Okay, sir.
तो सूरज आपके आइडिया में इशू ये था आपका इंट्रोडक्शन पूरा आ गया बट फ्यूचर की कहीं बात ही नहीं हो पाई यू गॉट इट लाइक चेंज रिवैम्प को आपने उसको आपका मोटिव बना लिया है रिवैम्प पे सारा फोकस था दैट वाज द नॉट करेक्ट वे टू डिस्पर दिस स्टेटमेंट
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
यस
Can I
गोल्डविन
repeat now? Okay, the SDG for quality education interests the manifest core ideas of education for all with quality and has interested on the NEP new education policy in 2020.
don't start and limit your essay with particular topic bring new education policy in the later on or a new education policy how it is for the future of generation so the way you have started do not work fine next बाकियों ने 10 मिनट निकाल दिया से मानसी
Sir, can I say?
yes जीवा
Ernie Fletcher had very famously said, education is the greatest opportunity to give an irrevocable gift to the next generation. And education still remains the main Brahmastra through which we can dictate the priorities and problems of our next generation. Our previous generation could only acknowledge and work on various problems afflicting humans, starting from a myriad of diseases to social problems like the practice of sati, because of the education they had received.
Jiva got it fine it was a good ठीक है yeah anyone else one or two more at max
Sir, I've started the education is what remains after one has forgotten what has been learned in school. And COVID times has given us golden opportunity of what the next generation of COVID times has given us a golden opportunity of what our next generation to think of what our next generation requires, which will be fueled by technology revolution. We have machines for the mechanical cramming work. So humans must be focused on more value added work. So
थोड़ा सा मैकेनिकल हो रहा है आइडिया ठीक है मैकेनिकल हो रहा है थोड़ा सा ठीक है नो वरीज बट आइडिया ठीक है आइडिया में इशू नहीं है फाइन सो द थिंग इज दैट आई वांटेड टू एज देयर आई सेड द who is it
Prashant.
yes Prashant last one
Sir, I started with the story of Rohan, who was studying in a good engineering college, but he was good at academic education. But when he went in open market, he was unable to cope up with pressure due to lack of ethical education in the academic sphere. As well as he discovered that his education was not updated according to the market. The things he studies were redundant and obsolete type kind of thing.
मजा नहीं आया एवरेज टाइप का दे दूंगा कंक्लूजन नो वरीज ठीक है मजा नहीं आया टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट स्टोरी में मतलब ऐसा होना चाहिए कि मतलब नेक्स्ट क्या होने वाला है वो तो बताना ही नहीं है ठीक है स्टोरी समथिंग इट शुड बी इनकम्प्लीट योर एसे शुड कंप्लीट द स्टोरी थ्रू योर थॉट प्रोसेस एंड योर कंक्लूजन शुड ब्रिंग बैक योर स्टोरी का जो इशू है ना वो सॉल्व वहां पे होना चाहिए ओके वी विल टॉक मोर अबाउट इन आवर अपकमिंग सेशंस डोंट यू गाइस वरी फाइन सो revamping education is setting agenda for the next generation. So the key word here was to revamp education, next generation. Both the words required equal importance, equal things. No one can be ignored, not any single word. In the context, what we have to do is when we say revamp, what you have to revamp, you should be clear. People started with the quotation. There was a quotation, I guess, Nelson Mandela, that education is the biggest weapon to defeat everything or something like this. Okay, you can use that statement. When you're creating a story, how education can changes the life. Okay, you can bring out the woman here. No one brought out. At least woman should bring out another woman now in your essay. Providing educational opportunities itself has been a revamp in the past 2-3 decades. The way you girls have accessibility to the academic institutions, your parents, basically your mother, did not have. They were not allowed. And if you go into the Dada Dadiji period, then you know the realities. So even that is a revamp, that how now you guys have the opportunity to be outside your comfort zone, to have the best academic institutions at your disposals. Certainly the generation that is coming afterwards, having you guys as a mother, will be having a support. नहीं नहीं पढ़ो यार तुम, हमारे माँ बाप ने इतना पढ़ा दिया, अब तो और पढ़ाएंगे. Next generation bringing emotion and the society's fracture lines as well at the same time. So story में these things could have been there. My purpose to let you guys perform this exercise was not to criticize or appreciate anyone, just to inculcate a thought process in your mind that how things are going to be happening or how it is going to work. Further, okay, let's move to the conclusion side of this essay. I have given you 2 or 3 ideas. I will be concluding with the 2 or 3 ideas only, similar ideas only. Suppose I have taken 2 names, Joshna and her daughter Shivi. Okay. So in the conclusion, I will say do the same. Education of Joshna has ensured that Shivi will get education. Suppose it's type how I'm completing the circle. As I told you that I will tell you how to link or complete the circle. At the same time, how revamp is required. Even in the present time, the education has been stereotyped. अच्छा B.Ed है तो लड़की कर लेगी टीचर बन जाएगी. Combat sports, combat uniform in a combat role in army have been recently allowed. You can drink, but the time period through Shivi should be like that. In this area, the time period should be less or something like this. Fine. This is how we complete the circle. Let me go back to my PPT as well. Okay. So this way we are going to deal or say in our upcoming sessions. Okay. Now resources, like people say how to create stories, how to create anecdotes, how to have so many linkers, sir kitna kaam karna padega ye wo. So yeah, certainly we have worked upon it as well. So I will be sharing the kind of notes that we will be following in our upcoming sessions, that how we are going to utilize the same. Okay. Apart from SMP material, good non-UPSC books. Way back, Puneet sir has shared certain number of books. So all the 2023 aspirants present here can start with those books. If required, I will repost this message within a day or 2 again. Okay. So non-UPSC books broadens your horizon, broadens your thinking process. Those who are good readers generally score good in ethics as well as SC. That is how you have to perform the things. Fine. Last but not the least, synopsis. I've taken the name of this word again and again, or say spoken this word again and again. What actually is synopsis? So I will be writing live over here itself what I mean when I say synopsis. It means if you write your whole essay, it will require at least 1.5 hours to 2 hours if you write full essay. But introduction and body. When I say body, you don't have to mention each and everything. You just mention idea. As I just stopped you guys while giving me your idea about introduction. I did not listen your whole introduction. I asked you guys to stop. I got the idea. So similarly, in body para, you will write only idea. Suppose in the first para, in revamping education in historical times, as Siddharth used his history in the introduction itself, so he would have written word war. That word war education I have to link. Suppose he wants to write about the ancient history. Okay, so how Shushruta Samhita, Charak Samhita, all were there, he could have used it. Suppose he wanted to write about economy. Okay, what revamp required? Certainly, good institutions, large number of good institutions will ensure affordability of the good institutions. अब है IIM थोड़े से, DU थोड़ी सी, most of the people do not even reach there. Cut off 100 हो गया है. It doesn't mean कि 90 वाला SRCC में won't be able to perform. He will be able to perform. Okay, so you have to just give the idea, but conclusion, again, you have to write full. Okay, so synopsis means full introduction, full conclusion, but body paragraphs, only ideas. You don't have to write. This work can be completed in 40-45 minutes. So instead of writing a 1.5 hours to 2 hours essay, you can write synopsis. So mains appearing candidate, please do take a note. Even if you cannot write one essay in a week, you should write at least 2 synopses in a week from different sources. And my suggestion, your sources should be UPSC previous year questions. No one can make better essays other than UPSC itself. Fine. Now coming about the course, as you have seen that we have provided 3 kind of things. First, sessions only. So first session was open for all. Next 5 sessions will be paid only. However, it will be made available to our integrated batch students. Okay, so they need not to pay anything. Second, writing essays, 12 essays you can write along with sessions. Then the third one is mentorship, essay mentorship. So essay mentorship, myself have limited admissions to 5 only, because apart from your essays that will be evaluated by the expert evaluators that we have hired, your synopsis, your review of evaluated essays will be done by myself. So whatever 12 essays that you will be writing, I shall be reviewing. The way I changed some of the, I will say, statements to the emotional one. It might be a case that you are writing, then I have to review each and every essay. For those, admission will be limited to 5 itself for the mentorship component. For integrated batch, they do not have to write answers, essays right now. You just have to take sessions. Essay writing will be started at an appropriate time, but do not miss the sessions. But you can start writing synopsis. I will not review till the mains is over, but post mains I will review your synopsis without second thought, you can be assured. Okay, so this was about the course and about the session. So I'm done with the my side. Okay, wait, one more thing. Let me show sample notes.